that's what it sounds like. Sitting here in person, I mean, it's a great guitar. It's the best new Martin that I've ever played, as a matter of fact. I had another 37 D28A in here that was the first one, number one. I did a neck reset on it and just fixed some saddle stuff that had been messed up. So I had the two of them to compare, and you know, they're pretty comparable guitars. They're loud, boomy, warm, rich. They're great. I mean, they're just you cannot get a better new D28 than an authentic. You know all the specs on the authentics, right? It's got first of all the thin old style headstock. It's squared off right here. It's got Waverly tuners, which you know are upgrades from the originals. It's got a T-bar in the neck, non-adjustable truss rod. The relief on this guitar is 5/1000ths of an inch. It's a perfectly flat neck. The nut is bone, I think. In any case, nut slots were real good on this one. The spacing was beautiful. I lowered the E and the A just a little bit from stock because they're just a little bit high. Got hot glue construction on the one that I took the neck apart on. Everything's really nice in there. I've worked on some high-end Martins that had paper shims, and not the authentic. The authentic didn't even have a shim. The net was fit perfectly. Hot glue construction. The fingerboard is correct right here, in that the finish comes down the neck and then the finish stops on the extension. So no finish up there. That's correct. The bridge is pretty much correct on all the authentics. Martin did not do a true vintage slot. They did the same kind of slot they do on the GEs and everything, where they route the saddle down a little bit deeper and they fill in the ends with a little black super glue. If you look really super close on this one, you can see the little half circles here. That's the only thing, that's the main thing that is not authentic about this. And on the one that I was talking about, number one, that's one of the things I fixed, because he had somebody else that adjusted the saddle, put a new saddle in, and then they did a terrible job of filling it in and everything. So I filled in the slot with ebony and I turned it into a true vintage slot on the other guitar. This one's stock. I replaced the bridge pins with Antique Acoustics because they're much harder material than the stock pins. Stock pins are in the case. The bridge is glued on hot glue. The bracing is scalloped, of course. There's no popsicle brace. That's all stock. The only thing I've done to this guitar is adjust the action, put the pins in, and that's it. Stock. I haven't messed with the bracings or anything. There's no need to, because it is unauthentic. This is the way they ought to be built if you want a pre-war style Martin guitar. This guitar is pristine. I cannot find a scratch. I've never stood up with it. Does not have a strap button in it. The only possible thing that I can find on it, if you really want to nitpick on it, if you rub your finger right here like this, you can feel slight ledge with the binding and the sides. What happened is the binding is shrunk. You know, it's very, very thin. There's no separation happening right there. You know, I can feel that almost all the way around. And that's something I feel on practically every Martin that comes through here. I don't feel it on Collings, I don't feel it on my Prues or anything like that, but every single Martin that's in this shop that's over a year old, you will feel that little edge right there if you really feel it. But again, no separation. I can't see any lack of cracking. This could have walked off the showroom floor today. So here it is. A 2014 Martin D28 1937 authentic. Here's a picture of the back. While we're out here in the natural world. Here's a picture of my t-shirts which I have for sale. You can PM me or whatever you want to do. I have t-shirts, see? With mine. This is a Martin D28 1937 authentic. It was made in 2014. I purchased it brand new, so I am the original owner. And it is pretty much stock. The only thing I did to it was to adjust the nut. The nut was a little bit high. And then as we move down the fingerboard here, I put Antique Acoustics bridge pins in. which the originals are in the case, and I adjusted the saddle to get the action I want. Here's our saddle height right now. The action is currently about 98 thousandths of an inch on the low E, 80 thousandths on the high. So it's a kind of a medium action. It's not super low. You know, it could be a little bit lower if you're going to be flat picking up the neck a lot. But I don't have any trouble playing it up there. I left it set up as kind of a bluegrass guitar, if you will. And this is what it looks like. There's not a single scratch, dent, anything on it. Could have walked out of the factory. Let's turn the light off. There's the pick guard. Here's what it looks like. Here's the back. And of course, you know, you're looking at a D28 1937 authentic, so this is Madagascar rosewood. I don't know if it's spectacular rosewood or not. It just kind of is what it is. The grain and all that stuff doesn't make any difference in the sound anyways. So, I like it. I mean, I think it's a pretty good guitar. There's your neck. The neck was pretty sticky when I first got it. And so I keep it hanging up on the wall in a humidified room. And I polish it with Smith family polish. And it's taken about a year to get to where it was not sticky. And now it feels pretty good. And of course it has Waverly tuners on it. So there's nothing much spectacular to show about it. It's just a 1937 D28A, you know. So let's plug it in. Let's plug the camera in. Let's play it. Like I said, it is stock. I don't think I've even put the end pin in it. End pin's in the case. And there's no strap button. So I bought it just to use it as an example for the shop. And it's time to move on now. It is a non-VTS top. They only made these for about a year, just a little over a year. And now, of course, they're VTS tops, and whether they're better or worse, I can't really say, but I do know that they only made the non-VTS for about a year. There's no more, so there it is. If you want a non-VTS top, I've got one.